clear cut shot. Didn't fall no nothing. Looked at him. I'm gonna kill you. They grabbed me. Don't grab me. Let me go. Tell me this. How can a person that's...
You have 4 children.
Yeah, I have 3.
You have 3 children. You have 7?
Yes.
10 kids.
7?
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Yeah. He hasn't stopped.
Yeah.
Have you stopped now? Is that enough?
What?
You can have more kids? Or?
I don't know.
Really?
If God bless me with another one, then so be it.
Canelo Alvarez made fun of Terence Crawford's resume on The GOAT's show. He then made fun of Crawford's wife and said they were careless with her weight. They had the second part of their interview with Piers Morgan. And while he was talking, Canelo made fun of her weight and said she was ugly.
But, you know, Terence Crawford, he's not really doing that well. He should be doing better than that. I don't want to sound shallow, but you know, look at that. He can do better than that. He might love her, they might be childhood sweethearts and all that, but there's no excuse for her to not keep herself in shape. He's the top 2 or 3 pound for pound best boxers in the world.
It wasn't the first time a boxer had made fun of his wife, and Crawford did what he always did and criticized Canelo for those statements. Security quickly held him back, but he kept swearing and abusing Canelo. "Don't talk about my family, you jerk, you crazy jerk. You don't say them."
So just keep my name out your mouth. Keep doing what you're doing. I wish you nothing but the best. But listen, if you gotta go there, then...
Crawford was so unruly that they couldn't get him back to his seat, and he had to be removed from Canelo because the interview was meant to end fast. The interview was rescheduled. Nonetheless, Crawford and Canelo's hostility continues to grow, and this is their latest furious meeting. Fans replied right away to the comments. "I love what this fight is beginning to look like," a spectator noted. It was written by someone else. An angry Crawford against an angry Canelo. It's the real fatal fury. "I don't like how Canelo brought up Crawford's wife, but why not if it makes the fight more exciting?" Asked a third.
That shit. Like, dude, we don't even gotta fight in the ring. You socked me off guard and couldn't even drop me. If we was to fight right now on the streets, I'll break your neck. And that's on my kids. And you know it, I know it, and the whole world know it. And I'm not talking about no fighting in the ring. If me and you was to fight outside, I will break your...
The last person said, "It's so disappointing from Canelo. That's childish and unsportsmanlike. I hope Crawford messes him up." Also recently, Gervonta Davis insulted Crawford's wife and poured shade at her for her appearance, and Crawford lashed back, but the more controversial one came from Tyron Booth, to which Crawford released a forward tweet meant at Tyron Booth, saying, "We do have passports."
You know, he's trained hard, he's got to the top of his game, he's made money, he's become a world champion, he's super talented, and he's got that cunt as our girlfriend. He should be doing better than that, Terence Bud Crawford. It's all about levels, innit? Crawford wouldn't have that nice, attractive girlfriend of his if he was a bin man. If he was a bin man, emptying bins in nothing.
Crawford's reasonable response to Booth's questions about his wife's weight went viral on Twitter, with several fans and fellow boxers chastising Booth for his crude remarks. A day before, Booth shared this disgusting question about Crawford's wife, Isa, on Twitter. "Should a world boxing winner have an overweight girlfriend?" Booth's tweet showed a photo of Crawford wearing a suit and posing with his wife, who was dressed in a frock. Booth has gained notoriety for inflammatory comments made on his YouTube channel and Twitter. His Twitter account was suspended after he made a joke about Crawford's lover. It's obvious that boxing fighters are trolling Crawford's wife, possibly after hunting for weak places in him and finding none. His opponents regard his wife as an easy target for comments.
He won't have that at all. Yeah, he'd be struggling. Everything for a reason. George Groves with the Rubik's Cube. I found a woman who really likes Rubik's Cubes as well. Yeah. Everything for a reason. I don't know what the reason is for her wearing that. It's not all that, is it? Everything for a reason. You know, if I was like a top boxer and I was training hard and I was running.
Canelo Alvarez and Terence Crawford spoke with Shaquille O'Neal ahead of their bout on September 13th in Las Vegas. Tom Brady and Dana White. Canelo recently slammed Terence Crawford's resume during an interview. He praised the great fighter Crawford, but is suspicious about Bud's opponents. Simply put, Canelo does not rate any of Crawford's prior opponents as world-class. Crawford beat Errol Spence Jr., Amir Khan, and Kell Brook, Sean Porter, Jeff Horn, and others throughout his career, but despite naming Victor Pozol and Ricky Burns as his most outstanding opponents, he did not score well in countering Alvarez's claim.
You know, and if you look at his career, don't get me wrong, okay? He's a good fighter, but if you look at his career, mention one elite fighter.
So Postal wasn't elite?
Who?
Victor Postal.
Who's that guy?
So Ricky Burns wasn't elite?
Ricky Burns doesn't elite.
Okay.
Eddie Hearn has already addressed the problem and agrees with Canelo's position, but adds that it is not Crawford's fault that he has never had the chance to fight bigger opponents in his career. Hearn said Fight Hub TV, "Unfortunately for Terence, he has never had the big fights against the greats in their primes. It's not his fault. On the plane, I asked him, 'What's your best win of your career?' He said, 'Ricky Burns is my guy. He's a 3-division world champion and an excellent fighter, but when it comes to pound-for-pound generational brilliance, where are the other wins on your resume?' The Matchroom boxing chief also thinks that Brook Khan and Spence were past their primes and they battled Bud, and he compared Crawford and Canelo's resumes.
And do you think fighting the 4-pound smaller king does more for your career than facing the bigger, menacing Mexican monster and David Benavidez?
You can see the career of Terence Crawford Benavidez. Terence Crawford was undisputed champion in 2 weight classes, many championship fights. So he bring me something to the table.
This is clearly a very personal effort for him to prove himself as excellent. There's no question that if he wins the fight, he'll be fantastic. He's a phenomenal boxer pound for pound, but when you compare his resume to Canelo Alvarez's, it's chalk and cheese. Terence Crawford will have the chance to erase such remarks when he faces Canelo Alvarez on September 13th. It's easier said than done, however, and Crawford's need to go up to weight divisions will not help his cause. That being said, Crawford has the ability, and he has always shown when the lights were highest. Canelo, on the other hand, is cut from the same stock.
There's a lot of experts that think Canelo's not the same fighter. His punch output's a lot less. What do you think, considering the last 12 months or so? Is he the same fighter he was maybe a few years ago?
I think he is. I just think, he just wasn't up for the Skull fight. And I think, different fighters bring different, energies out of other fighters.
A lot of people are judging you on the Madrimov fight, saying you struggled moving up in weight. You're going further up in weight, and they're saying that's going to go against you based on the Madrimov fight. How do you kind of reply to that?
While sitting on the GOAT's podcast with Ring Magazine, 7-time Super Bowl champion Tom Brady spoke with the fighters about planning and how both men train for such a bout. "I was never thinking about the fight, and I never in my life was thinking about Crawford because he's in a lower weight class than me. But that's the fun part about fighting because you never know what is going to happen. Now we're here, and I'm glad to share the ring with one of the best fighters out there."
Ricky Burns wasn't elite?
40 years old champion in that moment beat Mr. Posta in my gym. I saw that.
So Ricky Burns wasn't elite?
Ricky Burns doesn't elite.
Okay.
He's not elite.
It's cool.
Is there a champion?
I'm going to fight another elite
There is
fighter
a champion.
Well, I know I've had a lot of complaints of the sport over the last 30 years. The way that I'm looking at this is that I'm going to start building from the ground up, looking for young talent up and coming guys putting on fights. Sort of UFC style, from the first fight of the night to the main event, stacking the card with the best talent possible, changing the live event, changing the production of the show. Sheikh Turkey has a lot of things in the works already.
Good fighters, but elite fighters is different. Wait.
So I'm going to fight an elite fighter in September.
Yeah, okay.
Then we're
going to find out.
We're going to find out.
And don't get me wrong, you're a great fighter.
I know I'm great.
You're a great fighter, but are you going to find out? I hope you don't.
Most of these guys just take Turkey Alalshik. who has spent more money in boxing over the previous 2 years than any other promoter in history, so I'm looking at this thing completely differently than anyone else has. Brady mentioned that sports fans want to watch the best compete against the best. According to Brady, speaking to White, this formula is how the UFC stages fights. Brady added, but Alvarez are the best in the sport of boxing, which is why so much attention is being drawn to the fight during press week. You want to take the best of what's been accomplished, what Alvarez has done, and what But has done and say, all right, let's see what happens. That is the excitement of sports. People want to see greatness fight with other excellence and see who wins.
But Turkey Alashi pay you enough money because it's gonna be the last. That's
It
for
may
sure.
be. It may be. Maybe.
I hope he pay you enough.
But you know, after fighters fight me, they never the same. So I just hope your career continue.
If you look at my
afterwards.
career, never same after me.
The podcast appears to have been taken before the disappointing fight between Alvarez and William Skull. Alvarez hounded Skull throughout the fight as he ran for his life. Skull finally lost by unanimous decision, becoming a 2-time undisputed super middleweight world champion. Crawford climbed into the arena and grabbed Turkey Alalshik's hand, who had stepped away for the champion's official face-off in Riyadh, Saudi Arabia. At the first news conference, Alshik sat next to Alvarez at his table, which was adorned with various renowned belts won during his great career. Turkey, you must place a small ring, the smallest ring in the only hay mat. Well, the only running I'm going to be doing is running upside his head, and I can promise you that Bud was alone with his trainer, Brian Beaumont McIntyre, when Alshik remarked, I don't know why they sat me here, as I want to be on Crawford's side. As the guys met, the crowd laughed, but started leading Alvarez back until Alvarez shoved Crawford off of him, causing a frenzy among security and their respective camps. Brady described training camp and how the fighters prepped ahead of their big fight. He wanted to know when the intense training would start. Right now, I am not working hard. In fact, I am not training at all. I don't want to overtrain because I give my best at the gym and don't want to burn out. I want to save everything for the fight, you know, so I'm just chilling, doing some strength work here and there, but other than that, my training hasn't started.
Well, I want all the people in the stands that boo me, they gonna cry when they go home. They cry. Go ahead.
At the time of the talk, Alvarez had been training for Skull for 6 months and was already in battle mode. I have a fight in May, and then I hope to recover for a week before starting training again in September. I'm focused on what I'm doing right now. Obviously, I'm fully focused on May because I need to take care of that battle first before moving on to the September fight. I'm practicing and focused on my goals, despite the fact that the bout is billed as maybe the greatest in boxing history. Brady, widely regarded as the best quarterback of all time, described what being a GOAT really means. I think when you think about that, there's an or two different people that when they perform what they're doing, whether it's boxing, basketball, or football, or you know when you step to the table, everyone's worried. And whenever you've got the ball in your hands, or when the big moment happens, they all know what's going to happen too. Definitely, you could kill me with just one punch. Really, how would you kill me out of interest? Just one punch? Really? Yeah, because you don't used to getting hit. And I think when you think about certain people, you go, yep, that's the person I want. In that, and everyone to think at this level is you're talking about small margins of who's a little bit better here or there, but there are certain groups of people that stand above everyone. Now the third and final news conference is planned for Friday, June 30th, 2025 in Las Vegas, where the former Michigan Wolverines quarterback owns shares in the Raiders. I've been a fan of boxing for a long time and a big fan of Dana, Shaq, and obviously Canelo and what they've done in their careers, and I think from someone who's been involved in big events, there's nothing better than having the best meet the best, and then when you see these two guys how they performed over the course of their entire career, And it's always about what the next challenge is.
So
You've no idea about my fight record.
oh, well, I don't know, but
I grew up with two brothers. Trust me.
How old are you?
Huh?
How old are you?
I'm 60.
You going to sleep? He said I'm 60. You going to
No,
sleep?
mate, I've sparred with Manny Pacquiao.
Yeah, sparring.
There's a video.
We talk about bare knuckles. You're going to sleep.
Really?
Yeah.
because you know,
Look at the relish you both say.
You know, they don't look back and say, this is what I did in the past. They're thinking about the future, which is what excites me the most about this event, which will take place in Raiders Field, the best field in the United States. We are going to see two of the best boxes in boxing history square off. What more could you want than for Crawford to march across the platform and try to force Canelo to give ground, provoking a forceful push from the Mexican star that ended in a brief conflict between fighters, entourages, and security personnel in New York. The American had taken a more aggressive stance in the news conference, saying that he was seeking Canelo for their undisputed super middleweight world title fight on September 13. He is not going to beat me. Don't worry. He won't beat me. Don't worry. I think this battle will go down in boxing history. Those belts are coming home with me. I am telling you that you can see it, but it will be tough. You take it to your mom. I'll take them. It isn't. Crawford stated, I'm just going to keep it real. That's all I'm doing, hunting him. I'm looking for whatever he has, and I plan to take it on September 13th. Crawford, a 4-weight world champion, has pledged to give a crushing defeat to his immensely loved opponent. I want everyone in the stands who booed me to cry when they get home. Canelo, who has also won for weight divisions, was forced to go the distance in his most recent fight, a routine points victory over the elusive William Skull in May, and has requested a smaller ring for the Crawford bout. You need to put a smaller ring, he began. But Crawford swiftly replied, the only running that I'll be doing is running upside his head, and I can assure you that's a fact, and he's got a big head too.
He's not gonna beat me. Don't worry about it. He's not gonna beat me. Don't worry about it. I think this fight is gonna be in the books of the history of boxing for sure. That's for sure.
For sure, them belts coming with me. They coming home with me. I'm telling you right now.
You can see it, but it's gonna be difficult. You take it to your mom.
I'm taking them. And then you're gonna be able to do about it come fight
And
night.
I know Turkey is in your corner,
I promise you.
but look, it's gonna be very difficult. He's gonna be so mad that day. Believe me.
I see you. I see you. You see I'm different.
I see you too.
You see I'm different than all the other ones.
No, I see you. No, you don't know different. You're nothing different.
I'm different.
Nothing different.
I'm different.
We'll see.
You're gonna see.
We'll
you know
see.
it.
We'll see. We'll see. Son.
Crawford is going up to weight classes to face Canelo after defeating Israel Madrimov in a unanimous decision at super welterweight last August. And that's it for now. Stay up to current on boxing news, moments, events, and activities by subscribing to our YouTube channel. And don't forget to switch on notifications to be told when we post quality material like this.